Contrary to what people might think, I am not here to cast aspersions at any community. I'm not saying this one's bad, that one's good. Um, I feel people fail people.
Congratulations first and foremost on the film and everything that you have achieved so far, not least the Academy push. So how are you feeling?
Well, honestly, hasn't sunk in yet. And when we started out, it was more so about like, okay, fine, we'll try our best to make it into a competitive section of Cannes. But we went so much more than that, that we
Yeah,
went to TIFF and we got the international, the award for the award, international jury users award, runner up. And then while we were getting up for the release, we got this news about the entry, which was I was definitely not expecting. But all of this like gives you a sense of pride,
yeah,
and more so because this film has a universal message in the
yeah,
conduit of friendship that it talks about. You know, like contrary to what people might think, I am not here to cast aspersions at any community. I'm not saying this one's bad, that one's good. Um, I feel people fail people,
yeah, yeah,
you know, and I feel the way the world is going on about, I think it's time that we, even to people that we don't agree with, people whose worldviews and their value systems differ from us, who may not look like you, who may not live where you live, or have a different approach to life. They may be ideologically different to how you are.
yeah,
And so I would want to have empathy even for them. I
yeah,
would want to empathize with my own adversary because we've gone on too much spewing hate at each other. We've gone on too much, dividing. It's time that we sit down and like have dignified conversations
yeah,
and
yeah,
talk like humans with empathy and
yeah,
understand each other a bit and, maybe self-reflect and correct a bit. That's my entire
100%.
aim with this film. And with that aim, if we go and we talk about our heartland and the stories of our country and the stories of people who are often looked over, that is a sure win for me.
Yeah. Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head with the universality of the message of people fail people, and it's quite rare nowadays, given the way the world is and how we're all feeling and how we're all slightly becoming desensitized because there's so much. So where do you put your emotion? And obviously, endless scrolling on social media and scaremongering, you
There
do.
is so much information, there's also so much misinformation and
Yeah.
disinformation.
Yeah, and this when I finished the film and I finished it on Saturday night when I got sent the screener, I just stopped for a few minutes because it was a gut-wrenching punch, but in a really good way of emotion and feeling that I haven't really, I don't know, experienced in a really long time because you relate so much to some of the characters and those moments and how can we
Yeah.
live in a world where these kind of things happen? And there's a few points that I just want to talk to you about that really have stuck in my head since I've watched it because we've got about 15 minutes, so I'll focus on those and then we'll see where we get to. But the first one that I can't get out of my head is the aerial shot of the two on the road because you sort of realize the vastness of everything that they're up against. And I'd just love to hear a bit more about that and what you were trying to achieve with that perspective from a director's perspective.
Yeah, the where you see the migrants walking on the road,
The
that's the
migrants on
one.
the road, but also when the two of them are just sitting themselves.
That was also that particular shot was also a way to say that he's gone.
Yeah.
It's a God angle. But it immediately sorry, is it okay? I mean, we are giving out spoilers. Could
Yeah,
we?
we'll do a preface
Right.
if there's
Okay.
spoilers in there, yeah.
So what I'm saying is that the instantly from the God angle, it cuts to the mother sitting and waiting at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was this connection that we were trying to draw. So, and also the migrants walking, that was actually, I referenced it from this National Geographic, very famous photograph of these camels walking in a desert.
Right.
Uh, and you remember this picture, right? The
Yeah.
shadows are taller. And also this very famous song that I like, your shadows taller than your soul.
Yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah.
you wind down. So I know it's also seeped into it. So, when we create art, also it's an amalgamation of too many references and influences that we've had over several years. So that was one
Yeah.
point, of course.
Because
And
it
also,
really,
the whole making of the film, my influences have been such, of course, I've traversed to the art house cinema a lot, but my strongest influences have been Ken Loach and the Dardenne brothers of Belgium.
right, yeah, amazing.
So I think you can sense somewhere those
Yeah.
influences.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the sort of point on empathy and how you relate to these characters. I mean, I think, Ishan and Janvi and Vishal play their roles so incredibly, but when the mother cries when she gets handed the shoes, that is just God, that sense of emotion, and you can just, I don't know, you just want to hug her. But also the moment where the lady gives water, and you can, and so all of those moments really come to give this depth of character, and I'd just love to hear your process to get that out of your actors as a director. How do you do that?
Actually, I get into a very academic process and very internalized process of training them for emotional scenes.
Right.
Technically, there is this thing which I've devised on my own. It's called the Code 360.
Code
So
360.
it goes into the call sheet. This is a Code 360 scene. So I've already briefed the entire team before the shoot that what is Code 360. What happens in Code 360 is that the entire set goes quiet. People talk in whispers. And the actors, only me and the first AD will talk to them. And we will interact only in the tone of the scene.
Wow.
And I use music that can create the atmosphere of the scene because everybody's working, right? And suddenly when they hear the music which is similar, I use background scores, I use some of my favorite songs which are very very close to the scene, and I play
Yeah.
that, and the set becomes that. And even I go to an extent where when the clapper comes, they will also clap in the same tone of the scene.
Right.
And it's not just like emotional, it also has to match, like, is it like a pathos, is it anger, is it comedy, that bit. But also with these boys, what I've done is that we've done 2 months of like huge dialect workshop. And then I did an immersion exercise, when I took them to villages. We stayed there, we spoke to those people, and I said that, this lived experience, as much as you can, I borrow from reality a lot, and that's how I work on. And I wanted them to, like, because I tell them that good performance is not enough for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you guys are good actors. You'll nail the line and you'll know how to move, but that's not enough for me. I
Yeah.
want you to live, because this is our moral responsibility, because you're representing thousands and millions of Shoaib, thousands and millions of Chandans and Sudhas and Vaishali of our country. Uh, you have to travel and make the distance to go to these characters. These characters are not coming to you.
Yeah.
I want you to feel them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I think it becomes so immersive as an experience.
Yeah, it is. That is the way to describe it. It is even Jandan's sister, and you can feel her struggle, and she knows what her role is, and she knows what she needs to do, but she's very aware of the injustice.
It's actually derived from my own personal life, because I put in a lot of my personal life, because I have masqueraded as a upper caste member for a very long time. So to live with that shame, to live with always trying to watch your back, that creates a big imposter in you, that creates the fear inside of you. I lived with that and I put that out. And also that I had three elder sisters and I favored a lot. So I wanted to put that shame out there of
Yeah,
being
amazing.
preferred as a male, you know. So like my actual sister's name is also Vaishali.
Is it
So I put it out like that. So
clever? Yeah, I mean you've taken on so much from the big societal issues to the realities of living life, but just managed to do it in such a, I don't know, human way. It's a it's a human story, and I think, obviously you've had 10 years since Masan, and you've done bits in between, and but something like A Made in Heaven is obviously still
mhm.
great, but a lot more commercial. So, how does your process differ when you're trying to show real life and depth like that versus something a bit more commercial?
I what I my penchant for realism is constant. Even if you see Made in Heaven, if it is in a in a very showy world of marriage and stuff. But the characters are from like this girl is from an Ivy League college,
Yeah.
university professor, and she's come. So their world will be that. So I try to adhere to that world.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think regardless of what I do, I feel I will stick to realism. I'll stick to uh something that feels authentic. And authenticity just not doesn't mean about the milieu or the place or the but I feel more about emotions. So what I also do is that I read psychology a lot
Amazing.
because you need to know how characters will have their arcs, have their motivations set out, basis their psychological framework.
Yeah.
So that has been a thing for me.
And then how did you work with the your cinematographer to because it feels like the cinematography just really is the background and really complements in a brilliant way the journey that the characters also go
The
on.
big call that we took early on was that I was initially thinking that we shoot the classic way of a dolly and the regular works, but then I thought that if we want to bring in energy and make it more contemporary, we thought that we should go handheld. And
Right.
that was the approach because classically you feel like you want to make in that the classic way that. And also we chose this aspect ratio also because the intent was not to show what is India looking like. That's a
Yeah.
very voyeuristic gaze. We want to stay with the people, so that's why the aspect ratios also were like this 1:6. So I didn't go with the classic large format, and those were the calls that we made early on. And also the look, like the palette, you may not notice that, you may feel that it is actually that place and stuff, but we've carefully made a point to stick to a color palette,
Yeah.
being costume. So we all of us were very networked to do that.
Yeah. I mean it work it's a beautifully shot film. And the casting process, how was that? Because obviously you've all these actors are all very well known, but maybe more for a
There
second
was an
time.
intent to get known people as well, because honestly, we indie filmmakers, we make a film, we go to a festival abroad, we get a standing ovation or a prize or here and there, maybe, and then we come back and that's about it. What happens to the people that you based the film on?
Yeah.
When do they get their due? So I have always made a film where it is sort of a middle road. It's not entirely art house. It's
Yeah.
not entirely commercial. It's just accessible. Like, exactly like how Ken Loach make films.
Yeah.
It's not like a festival audience will see it, but also a person on the street will watch it and get affected by it.
Yeah.
So my it has been that, it's that's what I have always been wanting to do.
Yeah. And the process of taking the article, which was
Yeah.
obviously so beautifully written and gave so much depth to getting to where you are now, like how did you do that? How did you evolve the story? How did you make choices that are not in the article?
Oh, it was honestly when I read the article, of course, I was super gutted. I was so devastated reading it, but and also I saw an opportunity to talk about a lot of larger theme of things. How marginalized identities, caste, religion, color, race, sexual minorities, migrants, immigrants, everywhere, um, are always spoken in statistics. And I thought that with this film, you could talk about them
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
get to the human aspect of them. That was the starting point with this article. And I thought that this is a very good vessel to do that. So me and the writer, Basharat, we went to the place, we met the people, and from then on, I try to weave in something. And also, like I like to make it personal. I can't do it if it's not personal, So I
Yeah.
try to be. That's why I wove in a lot of my childhood experiences as a Dalit person, growing up. So I put in those experiences. And that's how I try to make it. And it was honestly very challenging because here you have the climax of the film
Yeah.
and you have to build an entire world around you. It's like
Yeah.
there was this famous commercial that I saw where this very rich lady goes into an architect's house office, and she pulls out a faucet out of her LV bag, and she gives it to him and says that build a house around this.
Oh wow.
It's
Is
exactly
that?
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
true. And I obviously have to ask very quickly what it was like to get notes from Martin Scorsese and that process.
Absolutely surreal. I think I was vicariously living the dream of every independent filmmaker.
You were.
Because he's been such a champion, honestly. He was trying to, my co-producer, Melita Toscan, she was friends with him, so she brought him on board. So he read the story. He was wanting to come on Masan as well, but that didn't work out. So I asked him like, then let's make him read the script. He read the script, he loved it, and then he came on board. He mentored me on the script. Then he also mentored me on the edit. 2, 3 rounds of editing, and all of this is simply like out of his graciousness.
Amazing.
He gets nothing out of it, but he does it because that's exactly why he's the greatest filmmaker of our times right now.
Yeah.